Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube.
What's going on, people? This is Inflewence, and today I have the 86 Studio Series BRAWN. And my initial thoughts is this guy is great. Hasbro, please, more of this. If they came out with figures like this for all their figures, like they're it's not perfect, but it's a great figure. It's kind of how I thought about Torn when I got it. It kind of blew me away, being a main line. I know it's Studio Series, but Studio Series been hit or miss depending to me. But they've had some hits, but this is definitely a hit. And one of the few flaws to me is the backpack. The way it's situated, it should have went up more to me, and we'll get into that. But just off the back, if you're on the fence to buying this, get it. If you're a mainline collector, what a time to be alive. So let's get it on. Start backed out a little bit, and you know how I do, go over accessories first. You see him holding his gun, which is the only accessory he has besides all the other stuff I consider accessories. You see his gun, just cast plastic, very minimum hollowness, which is the theme throughout this whole figure, which is one of the reasons makes it great. Directions, I actually got two of each directions in that little sheet that tells you all stuff. I don't know why I got two, but no, they do. They probably just was rushing at the factory. But yeah, directions were fine. You get this box, which is nice. Their Studio Series boxes are always nice. See him in his two modes. And yeah. And you get this thing right here, which is the backdrop. You know, Studio Series backdrops, but with BRAWN being small, lends himself to be very nice. Is a very nice, you know, not all of them are good looking. I mean, they're fine the backdrop wise, but they don't always fit on there and look right in proportion. This is an exception. There's been a few, but yeah, I would actually maybe display him like this, even though I don't like these backgrounds. But if I have a shelf, maybe I'll make a Studio Series shelf, I don't know, and have all these backgrounds, because I still got all my Studio Series boxes. For some reason, they're the only Hasbro boxes I save. The rest of my figures, the boxes go in the trash or the recycle bin, depending on what material they are. And of course, here we go with the figure. And we'll do a little overview of the figure. You see his head sculpt. It's great. Paint is magnificent on this guy, besides a few parts. I wish they would have painted the waist area the same as this. I kind of understand why. It's a lot of moving parts, and they probably used all their paint budget up here in the face. I mean, it's great. You got the painted windows. We'll get more into that in the car mode. But again, you can see the paint, and it's yellow, so it's really well done. Really well done. The head, the eyes. You see the eyes painted blue. Like they took see the back. They really took a page out of Masterpiece with this, and nobody can say that they don't. Third party is not on their radar. I mean, I've seen their lives, and some of the people that work for them have third party figures. They probably weren't supposed to, but I've seen I think I've seen a few in some of the people's lives. It's funny, but yeah. So like I said, the only part I don't like is this backpack. I really wish this backpack would have went up further. They could have just made a bigger hinge. I mean, I understand why they didn't, because then it wouldn't go down right, but they could have made a folding hinge where it folded under here. I don't know. What am I, a designer? No, I'm not. But I'm just being experienced with Transformers, and I just think they could have made this peg longer, or that hinge longer right there, and this would have moved better for one, and for two, it would have swung up, and maybe they could have swung the hinge in more instead of having it flat, because it does cover this, and maybe that's why, because it covers this part. But I just think they maybe should have put the hinge all the way down here. It's already a cutout, and then it would have swung up a little higher, and you could have had a better type of backpack on here. But again, that's minor, especially if you display your figures from the front or even from the side, because you can get a pose that you can make. So let's compare this guy to some other figures. It's going to be a mixed bag of Studio Series, and I'm even going to compare the Masterpiece. So here's a couple figures, and it's interesting. This is the old Bumblebee Masterpiece, and you see they kind of work together, depending on what you think. These are Earthrise figures, which we know that some of the Studio Series is smaller, more compact, because they have, more involved transformations or whatever. I believe that's the deal. And also, let's bring Hot Rod, since he's a Studio Series figure. And you can see how Hot Rod is next to him. And put it more next to him. I think that's fine. Beachcomber. I think that works well. I'll probably display those two together. He's just for fun. And that's Fans Toys Masterpiece. And I can say that this paint is better to me than the Fans Toys paint right here. Now, it's different type of paint. It's more, is it more metallic over here? Yeah, it's more metallic. It's not, I can't say it's better. It's different. But the colors are definitely different. And I kind of like the chest better over here. It's more interesting than this. This might be more cartoon accurate, but it's kind of more interesting. They did the legs almost exactly alike as far as the transformation. So that's funny too. Let's go over articulation. The tolerances on this guy is really good, great. That's another thing that's good about this. Some would even say they're too tight, but I'd rather have them too tight than too loose. I mean, they're not like crazy tight where I feel like it's gonna break, except for the head. I think due to the paint, the head was hard to get moving. So we'll go through articulation. Speaking of the head, it's kind of hard, so I would pull it out because it's hard to get, and then you can manipulate it and get it to where you need it and then push it back in. That's the easiest way, but it does move, just in case you thought it didn't, if you got yours. So it does the 360. It looked like it had some give, but it does not. I mean, that's typical. Arms just on a ball joint, so you get the full range and you get up to here. And you have this transformation joint where you can kind of get it down and you can manipulate it to kind of get like across the chest and fake a butterfly kind of. So, but there's that. That's really for transformation. Like I said, you got the bicep swivel. You got not double jointed, but it gets you way fully ranged. This is one of the only few little hollow parts, but they did do some interesting stuff. Like they kind of made this joint, the hand joint, weird. So it doesn't distract me as much as some of the other hollow bits, but you can tell it's still hollow. So I mean, that's a dinger. Hand goes in and out due to transformation, and you have fixed hands right here. I wish they would have painted this joint in this. I already talked about that. Like this, that would have been the icing on the cake. Like all the yellow parts would have been painted like this. This would have been almost perfect. Like I said, it's a great figure. So let's get through the articulation before I start praising it again. You can spin all the way around. Even with this giant backpack, he does get 360. So that's good. Again, you got this backpack that you can kind of manipulate. You can even move this. This was out like this when it came out the package, and I was really like, whoa. and it didn't feel like it goes back. I thought I was gonna break it. Super tight, but it does. So waist, got the hips, which on friction, but it's light enough. No die cast in this guy, besides the pins. Back is more troublesome. If you absolutely needed it, you can get this out like that and you can get all the way back. But look how ridiculous that is. You have thigh swivel here, swivel on a mushroom, a dual mushroom peg at that. You get the knee, which gets 90 degrees. It wouldn't get much more because of the backpack anyway. You would have to put it up again like I did. But yeah, this joint, like, it all looks purposeful. Like even this right here serves a purpose, but it looks interesting the way they did this. I mean, it's made to, it's the pin for this, but I think they did a great job. Feet rock all the way out. You also have independent heel spurs and independent toe. And it doesn't move, but you can rectify that with the thigh swivel. Let's get in the transformation. Pull this down. I like to spin this head around right now. These arms, you can spin like that because the hands should be pointed back. Push the hands down. And I'll show it this way because it's just into that crevice, that's why. But then you spin it like this. Spin the waist around 360. Then you can move this armature all the way down and keep these guys like this. Again, spin the armature all the way down. There you go. Now this, you want to move out kind of like that, and got that going. This you can pull out. Now right here, you spin this and it's weird. It barely has clearance. I'm not sure if it's scraping or if it's just tight, but there you go with the grill. Comes out. I don't know. It doesn't feel the best. It feels like it might scrape, and this is painted fully, so it could scrape if you were not careful. Now you want to move these arms up and in. This peg is pointing this way and the fists are down. So you move the other one in. Then there's pegs. There's a peg up here, pegs in over here, and there's a peg right here that pegs in there. Now this peg does have some paint scrapage. I'm assuming from pegging it in over here the first time I transformed it. So that's, you know, that's terrible. But this is fully painted, which is probably why they don't paint fully all the time. But this is a tight peg, and that could have been rectified probably if the peg wasn't so tight. But then you have pegs here in the fist, or peg holes, I should say. That's going to peg here, but not yet. You can wait for a minute. So then you can move this back up here like that. And you can start to see it becomes very intuitive, especially if you have a masterpiece version, because a lot of them did this. So push the toe down like this, and really it doesn't matter. You're just having that toe like that. Pull that out, push the toe down, pull this out of here. Then you can flip this way, and the toes go into this. I think it's, you know, it's nice, really nice the way they have it. Then there's two pegs up here, or one peg I should say, at the front where you can get that pegged in and you're good. Over here is the same way. Kind of move this in there, get this peg on in the front. It works. Then you can peg these, kind of peg these fists on And that's how you know where you have it. Like if this is lined up correctly, because you kind of move it over and peg it in. Now I can't get it in great. Like I don't know if it goes in super tight or if it's just like a suggestion, but you get it. And then you pull this down here, and there's 2 tabs on the ends that tab into these holes right there. Once you get that, that's it kind of solidifies it. But then you can move this down and it does solidify it even more. There's 2 tabs here that are like robust. And you just put that in there and then it's solidified. Oh, let me get this back on. Of course, it's gonna give me trouble when I'm on camera. And here we are as the Jeep. And the Jeep does look a little wide. It doesn't look exactly like BRAWN, but it's close enough. And I think it's good. It's a good looking Jeep. You got blue windows. I don't know how I feel about that. And this back window not being painted. Like why? If you're gonna paint them all that color, paint the back window as well. It's weird. But you have plastic wheels. I thought it was going to be rubber, since I don't know what's going on with the design team. Like you give Beachcomber rubber wheels, which I've never seen on a mainline figure, and then we're back to regular wheels. Like, but it looks fine. It's fine. It's just a, nitpick. Got the symbol there. This is fully painted. The grill, you can see it's metallic silver and yellow, and the yellow's done well too. Put the weapon there. It looks fine. You can move the weapon like that, or you can take this off. You can take the tire off, and you can just have the weapon here, and it looks more streamlined like that. It looks more battle to me. Or you can just have the tire on and not the weapon. See if the weapon can store anywhere. I didn't think about it. No, it doesn't look like it stores anywhere, which I wouldn't expect it to, because it stores up here. But yeah, that's it. That's the car, the Jeep, and I think it looks good. It's nice. Transformation's fun. So let's go backwards, as we do. Gonna be a quick one. Pull that out. Flip that over. Pull this out here like that. Kind of get that out of here, which doesn't really need to. And you flip that over, and then you clamp this to the side. There's a peg there. Put the feet up. Same thing over here. You see that peg right there? That's the peg that clamps. And then you clamp it together so it doesn't split apart. And it works well. The legs don't ever come apart. Now this is hard. This is probably why the paint scrapage, because that's probably why it's so hard, because it's paint, and you see even more came off. So that's terrible. But that's the price of having full paint. And if you don't transform this guy, I hate that it's on the arm, but it is in the back. So take that as a consolation. You can move the waist around so you don't forget. Put this down, flip this around. There we go. Then move. It's just easier to move the head around. You can move this up. It's on these little, has these little tabs, these round tabs that fit, and it works. It doesn't move so far. Move the fist down, move it like this, where the elbow is. Again, fist where the elbow is. And like I said, the peg is on the back. So, I mean, it's bad that it is on the out. Then move this all the way up. And here we are. And again, great figure, back to robot. And if you like this review, give me a thumbs up and I appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Peace.
You know, life ain't over, life ain't over, life ain't over. As long as you alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want.